innovating both domestically and internationally. As a content creator for outlets like Black Enterprise, All Deaf Digital, and NBC BLK, she tackles social justice issues, film, and television through her writing and scripts. Mia has also worked with major organizations like Viacom, the CW Network, TNT, and NBC News. With a bachelor's from Hampton University and a master's from Harvard University, Mia uses every platform she can to uplift others, sharing her journey to inspire people to find their passion and pursue it with everything they have. Originally from East New York, Mia now calls Atlanta home, and we're honored to hear her insights today. Please join me in welcoming Mia Hall.
Please give a round of applause for your wonderful hosts, Ariana and Cassandra. Yes, I love everything that you all did. Thank you, Dr. Christie back there, Alex and everyone else that has organized this event. I just want to thank you. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I know everybody's eating and some things are, all over the place, but I want you to stand up. Come on, everybody. Let's get the energy going. I love to have a lot of energy in the room, so I want you to stand up, and I want you to say a few affirmations with me. Whew. All right. Let's just shake it out real quick. Everybody just shake it out. We popped our stress, now let's shake it off. Shake it off. Shake it off. I don't know if it's but that's just it. All right. So, repeat after me. Across campus can hear you. I am confident. I am courageous. I am beautiful and handsome, or whatever you like to be. I am enough. I am, you all know this one, unstoppable. And that's what we're here to talk about. That's what I want to encourage you in, if nothing else, that you are unstoppable, and I'm going to help you to navigate life's transitions and to be even more unstoppable. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think they heard you at the Doheny campus. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe they heard you. I'll ask Ashley, so she couldn't be here. But shout out to Ashley, who helped me to even learn about you all and to be here too. So I just want to acknowledge her. Okay. All right, so, yes, we shall. All right, so I did want to do another quick exercise with you. So, do you all have a pen and paper? If not, then you can get out a pen and paper, because I want you to write a few things down. And I hope that you can take notes anyway, even though I know in this era, we can take notes on our phone, but I would like for you to write these things down on pen and paper. And then if you want to take notes on your phone later, feel free to. Okay, so I want you to, with the hand that you usually write with, your dominant hand, to write if you agree or disagree with the statements that I'll share, okay? So just write agree or disagree. Okay. Chocolate ice cream is the best ice cream out there. Agree or disagree? You don't have to share, you don't have to say it out loud. Just write it with your dominant hand. Agree if you agree or disagree. Okay. After a long day, class is all day, mom's calling me, family's stressing me out, all these things are happening. I would like to I would rather stay inside and go to bed, take a nap, than to go out and go party and forget about the whole day. So if you would rather stay inside after a long day than go party, then agree. And if you would rather go party, then you disagree. So write that down. Okay, and the last one, if you are amazing at time management. So write down whether you agree or disagree. If you yourself, you personally, are amazing at time management. Okay. All right, now I want you to write with your non-dominant hand. So if you're a righty, I want you to write with your left hand. If you're a lefty, I want you to write with your right hand. Right? Keep the same thing if you agree or disagree. You like to go with the flow. Everything is, you know what I mean? Like, cool, super good. So you like to go with the flow rather than have a set schedule. So let's say, you know, for the day is Saturday. I know everything that I'm going to do by the time, you know, but you would rather go with the flow than have a set schedule. Agree or disagree? Okay, your room is very organized. Agree or disagree? And you prefer for somebody to call you via voice than FaceTime. Agree or disagree? All right. Thank you. So these questions were a little bit about, you know, your personality, right? And I asked you to write with, you know, your dominant hand and your non-dominant hand because how did it feel? Can somebody share? How did it feel to write with your hand that you usually write with? Anybody? It was normal. Okay, normal. Anybody else? Another word? Comfortable. Right. Okay. Now, what about with your other hand that you don't usually write with? How was it?
Awkward.
Awkward. Good word. What else?
It was slow.
Super uncomfortable. What'd you say?
Slow.
And slow. Right. It took you a little bit more time, right? So that's how I want you to think about your personality type, right? If you want to go home and party, if you want to go home, lay down after a long day and you don't want to go outside and party, that is fine, right? Because you might feel uncomfortable going out to party. You don't have to feel pressured. Oh, you know, everybody's going to go to a party, so I should go too. Like, I wanted to start this out, you embracing your personality type, right? Does anybody know if they're introverted or extroverted? Like, raise your hand. If you do know, say yes, you do.
Yes.
Okay, great, right? So that's like the most basic, you know, we can say a personality type, right? Or you can be an ambivert. That's if you're introverted, right, and extroverted. But I just want you to embrace whoever you are so you can be that as you think about stress management, as you think about time management, as you think about life's transitions. Your personality is the way that you were wired. It's not necessarily like you weren't, nobody told you to be right-handed or left-handed, right? It was just like how you are. So I want you to embrace that when you think about everything that you do, when you think about studying, know and learn more about your personality too, because nobody's going to judge you based on that. Cool? All right, so I do want to know what a few of you agree with this. So who agreed that they're amazing at time management? Raise your hand. No one? I was going to have you come up here and do a workshop. Man, oh wait, you did it? Oh, okay. Somebody did? Okay. Well, I'll help you. That's why I'm here to help today. All right, anybody with the super organized room? Agreed? Okay. All right, so look, we're off to, you know, a start, you know, so that's good. And if you're not organized, I'm not judging you either, right? But that has nothing to do with personality type, no. But there might be a method to the madness, so. All right, awesome. Okay, so a little bit about what we're going to talk about today, how I navigated life transitions, right? I am older. I just had a birthday over the summer, so, you know, I just hit a milestone year, so, you know, it's very interesting to feel older. And yes, if anybody wants to know my age, I'll tell you later, but I'm up there, right? 20 years of experience in working, so, you know, just do with that what you must. All right, we're going to talk about overcoming stress, time management toolbox, and we're going to help you to apply some of the things that we learned, okay? Is everybody good? All right, I'm going to tell you. So sometimes I'm going to point to you and ask
Brooklyn, Los Angeles, Hampton, and Hartford. Her reputation for excellence, drive, and passion precedes her, and she's used her influence to break down barriers, whether in sports, media, and education, both nationally and internationally. As a content creator for outlets such as NBC News, Black Enterprise, and ESPNW, Via weaves powerful stories about social justice, film, and television. It's all about paying it forward and inspiring the next generation of go-getters. Through Brown Girls Glow, Mia empowers young women to become captains of their own destinies. She's worked with brands like Viacom, the CW Network, TNT, and the Steve Harvey Show, moderated panels and hosted events in cities across the U.S. Originally from East New York, Brooklyn, Mia now calls Atlanta, Georgia home.
All right. So I just want to show that just a little bit of context behind the words that they said, right? I know with people with a thank you. So yeah, so like I said, you could be an introvert, you could be an extrovert, you could be a visual learner, you could be a person that has to see, oh, they say all this, but where's the receipts, right? Has anybody ever asked somebody for the receipts? Maybe, I know I haven't. Oh. There we go. All right, so I went from the hood to Harvard. That's my claim to fame. God is good, God is amazing, and it was only by God's grace. So I will say that I am a believer, I am a Christian, and that God really has guided my whole entire journey. Thankfully, I found Him when I was about 14. I was in New York, and I was a big fan of the New York Knicks. Is anybody a basketball fan here? Yeah, okay, all right, we got one person. But yes, I used to play basketball, love basketball, and the New York Knicks, they were my team. So this year in particular, the New York Knicks were about to go to the championship, and unfortunately, this was the year that Jordan wasn't even in the league. Like, his dad passed away, like all these things happened, he wasn't even in the league. So we had a chance, and I was like, God, please let the New York Knicks win the championship. They haven't won since '76 or something like that. And unfortunately, they lost. And I was like, you know what? God is a genie in the bottle. You're supposed to answer my prayers. What happened? I was like, forget it. Throw the whole thing away. There is no God. I was just done. I was literally done. And I had such a stressful, this was 7th grade. I had such a stressful beginning of middle school. For me, I started in 7th grade. And I was like, you know what? Forget everything. But then, thankfully, one day, there was like a sunny day like this, and I woke up and I looked at the clouds, and I was just like, just for some reason, it just came over me, like, who made all of this? You know what I mean? Like, how did all of this get here? There has to be, a God. So I was like, maybe they say Albert Einstein says insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, right? So I said, maybe I have to try something new. Maybe I have to, just be more involved in my faith. And it started from there. So, I found a new church home, and, really just, ever since then, God has been guiding my every step. So that comes from God. And so also, I want to get from the room, are all of you from Los Angeles? Or is anybody from somewhere else? Okay, where are you from?
I was born in Sierra Leone, but I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay, born in Sierra Leone, from Philly. Okay, born in West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. That's most of my days. Okay, anybody else?
Born and raised in Chicago.
Okay, born and raised in Chicago. All right, awesome. You guys are Bible Sounders, and everybody else LA. Okay, all right, cool. Just wanted to get a sense because I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, so of course very different from out here, at least to me, because I also lived in Los Angeles for a few years during the pandemic periods. But yeah, so I started out in New York, and my household was one that was very emphasized on education. Everybody, I grew up in the projects, so a housing development in East New York, like they said. We had about 6 people in like a 2-bedroom, so it was like very tight. Money was tight, everything was tight. But I didn't know, of course, as a kid, you're just growing up. You're like, yeah, I can go to the community center to get because I had a family that loved me and they really like surrounded me, like, you know, with just encouragement, right? In the house, we had a bunch of books and they were like, just study, you know, do what you have to do, and you will be able to get out of the situation, right? Because around me, there was gunshots, there was, you know, just drugs, like you name it, like just gang activity, like everything around me to distract me from, you know, achieving my dreams. But my family, they just kept me motivated, like, keep going, keep your head in these books, and you'll be able to achieve whatever you want to. And so that's how I really started to get passionate about education. And then in high school, played basketball, and that's where I wanted to go to the WNBA. They had like just started by that time. Now I'm aging myself again. But yeah, shout out to the LA Sparks. That is one of my favorite Sparks. But yes, did that. And I went to a program. There was this program. Has anybody ever been involved in any after school programs when you were in high school? Why don't you name some of them? Like, did anybody go to like the YMCA? What did you say? Cheer, okay.
Student council.
Student council, okay. Anybody else? Yep. Okay, you're a big kid. Okay, yep. Sports, okay. You play sports. What do you play?
I played everything. I played rugby, I did track, I did volleyball, I did like flag football. I did a lot.
Okay, watch out now. I'll meet you outside. There's a little race time. But okay, awesome. So yep, all of those activities, they really inspired me in the classroom, right? So I went to this program called Power Play NYC. And Power Play NYC, they introduced me. They were an organization that empowered and educated girls through sports. And they introduced me to women that were professional that looked like me. Before that, I never saw women of color or black women that were the head of major teams. And when I say teams, not only basketball teams, because I met like the vice president of community relations and fan development at the Knicks, Karen Bacos, and I just only saw like entertainers. I only saw, you know, nowadays you can see this on the internet. You have, you know, pretty much all the examples and exposure to all these careers. But back then, I didn't see anybody that looked like me that was professional. So seeing that, it really inspired me. So that helped me to take my education seriously and continue pursuing my dreams. And so I'm very thankful for that opportunity. So why did some of you, can anybody tell me why you chose to come here to go to school? Because this is where I transitioned, right? After I, you know, was in that program, then I had to transition to college. I went to Hampton University. And I know why I chose my school, but why did you choose MSMU? Anybody want to share?
I wanted to go to a smaller school, never grad school.
Yeah.
Chicago was old as
No.
So yeah, those stuff was reasons.
Okay, awesome. Anybody else? Want to share why you chose? Oh yeah. Nursing program. Okay, awesome. Yeah, so thank you for sharing. So I wanted to go to Hampton University. I actually hadn't heard about it, but it is a historically black college. There's movie School Days and a show, It's a Different World, you know, that shows like the HBCU experience. So that's, you know, pretty much what it was. So there I wanted to be a VJ. Right? Does anybody know what a VJ is? As far as on TV, I know there was more so like my era, but it's a video jockey. So like a DJ, but for video, right? So there was Carson Daly and Total Request Live. I'm dating myself. This is way back in the days, but these I wanted to do that, like be on camera and be like, hey, yeah, go to this next video. What's some of your favorite artists? I know anybody. Taylor Swift. Anybody say any Swift people here? All right, there we go. Who else wants to say a favorite artist?
Lana Del Rey.
Huh?
Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey. Okay. Anybody else? Chaperone. All right. So I wanted to say, you know, hey, we got Chaperone coming on. You know, look at this video. Like that's what I wanted to do. So I chose Hampton University. They had great programs for that. Unfortunately, I didn't get in. But I went back to my sport management roots. I said if I can't play on a team because I was a little bit too good. I think they thought that the competition would have been skewed, you know, because I had the skills. Y'all saw the a team. But guess how many people might work for a team? Like, how many people do you think work for the Los Angeles Lakers? Maybe now it's more. Anybody can take a wild guess. Yep, like 200. There could be like 200 people, and that doesn't. So that introduced me to careers in sports. So I studied sport management. Then I actually went to study abroad. Has anybody studied abroad yet?
I know people who have.
You know people have. Okay. So I would suggest, if there's anything you can look up, study abroad, get some overseas experience. Because I did study abroad while in school. I went to China. Does anybody speak Mandarin in here? So you can test me out. No? Okay. But yeah, I learned a little bit of Chinese, so now if I'm like, speaking to somebody Chinese, I said, "Ni hui chua hu gong hua ma." So I speak a little bit of Asian, but yeah, I went out to Hangzhou, China to teach English for a little while out there, the summer before my last year of school. So that was a big transition because I had to figure out, okay, grad school. So some of you wrote on the balloons, I was like sneaking a peek about getting a job as a new grad student, right? Is anybody thinking about that? Getting a job, how you're gonna get a job? Yep, after a new grad student. Yep. So yeah, so I thought about the same thing. And I thought about where am I gonna go? Is anybody thinking about graduate school that's an undergrad now? Raise your hand. Yeah. All of these are transitions, right? You already transitioned to college, then you have to go to grad school, or you can go get a job, right? All these are gonna be transition. But I'm just here to encourage you. You are
unstoppable.
Right, so you are going to make it through. So when I had to deal with this transition of going to grad school, it was actually my church where I heard about a scholarship. You had to be applying to one of the top schools in your major. So I laughed at my dad about it at the church, like, ha ha ha, what if I went to like Harvard or Yale or something like that? And I felt like God was telling me it's not going to be just you, it's going to be me working through you to go over there. So I applied, and 4 months later, I got in. So, praise the Lord. So yeah, I'm trying to see. So I can go on and on and on, 4 days, just, about the transition, but I do want to hear from you. A couple of more things, because I already said, you're thinking about grad school, you're thinking about jobs after grad school. A couple of more things that you wrote on these balloons. Is anybody who's comfortable sharing? You can go to the next slide. So does anybody go? Yes.
I wrote about looking to get great success while also staying humble and giving back to the community.
Very good. What's your name?
JT.
JT? Thank you, JT. Did everybody hear her?
I didn't.
She was thinking about, she wrote on the balloon, right? Having great success, but also remaining humble and giving back to the community. I think that is a great question to have. Because yeah, you can be stressed out like, oh, what if I get too cocky or, and like forget about where I'm from, right? Yes, that's why in Brown Girls Glow, so I didn't speak about it yet, but Brown Girls Glow is an organization where we help to empower young women to achieve their fullest potential, right? And the GLOW stands for give, because I believe that giving back is essential to achieving your dreams, actually. The L is for lead, because I believe that everybody's a leader, even if you're just leading yourself. Leadership is very important. The O is for own, because I believe that, ownership is very important, right? And then W is for write your own destiny, because I believe writing is very important. So those are the pillars that I teach through Brown Girls Club. So that's why I say that giving back, you know what I mean, like, is very important, I think, to your success. If it wasn't for me volunteering at the organization where I said it was an after-school program, I wouldn't have gotten a job at the WNBA. So I was volunteering with them. They then hired me part-time. They said they couldn't bring me on full-time. And what did they do? They had me say a speech at one of their fundraisers. The president of the WNBA was there at the time. After I spoke, she got up, she got her award, and she said, anybody that can speak like that about their organization should work for me. So Mia, why don't you come on and join me at the WNBA? And that's how I got my first job. So volunteering, giving back to the community, very important. And you can figure out, if you like something or not as a career. and you don't have to pay for that, right? You're helping them, but they're also helping you because you can see, oh, do I really like, working at a, animal shelter, volunteer there first, figure out if you like it, then you can always come back. All right, so you can overcome stress by maintaining a healthy mindset. It all starts in the mind. I'm telling you, maintaining a healthy mindset is very important. Okay? So, can anybody define what is stress? Or you can just take a shot at it. You don't have to have the dictionary definition. Somebody who hasn't spoken yet. Even if you're introverted, I still want you to speak because I want to hear that, I want to know that you're listening. You want to go? What is stress? You all just popped it, so I know you know what it is.
I would say stress.
You can say, yeah, you can say whatever you want. It's your world.
I would say that stress is feeling like, I guess, overwhelmed. And having that paired with like a physical effect. So it's like stress usually starts as a feeling, but then leads to maybe it's a headache. It kind of like cycles into
I love that. What's your name?
AJ?
Adrian. I do remember that. Give it up for Adrian. I'm glad that you did speak because you not only spoke about stress's mental effects, right? But how it goes from your mind to your body, right? So that's why we want to make sure that, whatever is stressing us, we make sure that we deal with it so that it won't have an effect, on our head, on our body. And then once it affects our body, it affects our lives, right? Okay. So stress also leads to anxiety, it leads to depression, right? And if you have either of those, know that you're not alone because it's the American Society of Depression and Anxiety that says that 40 million American adults have been diagnosed with anxiety and 20 million with depression. So this is something that's common, everybody deals with it, but the difference is how you respond, right? Because there's always going to be something going on in the world, unfortunately, and people are fake, we know it's because of sin and the fall, right? But there's always going to be something in the world to stress you out. But how you respond to it, how you deal with it, is up to you. So I think that you gave, just to define stress, I think that you gave a good definition. It can be something that is coming on you, that's stressing you out, that's causing you angst and anxiety. But yes, it can also be like, we have stress balls. Stress can be a verb as well because you can stress like, a piece of paper, like you put stress on it, but that's not the stress we're really talking about today. So can somebody read this for me in a loud voice? I saw you start.
Mindset determines your attitude. Attitude determines approach. Approach determines success or failure.
Yes. Did everybody hear her?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So yes, remember that mindset determines your attitude. Your attitude determines your approach, and your approach determines success or failure. So that just takes you back to mindset, right? I just want you guys to know that you're going to want to keep and maintain a positive and healthy mindset.
It is 5:02.
Okay. All right. So I also want you. How many have ever seen something like this? And if you can't see it, I do. So they call this the 7 F's, or at least this version, right? Zig Ziglar has had like the Wheel of Life, and different people have had the Wheel of Life. But how many? Raise your hand if you've heard of the Wheel of Life. Pretty much, and it's basically just talking about all of the areas that affect us in life. And when people talk about having a balance to manage stress, this is more so what they're talking about. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, if you have a balance in something, then one thing is going to be unbalanced, right? But when you have this, and you can, take a photo, or I can definitely send it to you. But when you think about every area of your life, then that's how you'll be able to kind of bring a balance to what you believe in, right? Believe in something bigger than yourself, or just what do you have faith in, right? Even if you don't, have a belief, what do you have faith in? You have faith that the seat is going to hold you up, right? You have faith that when you walked out the door, when you pushed that door, it was going to open, right? So we all have faith in something, but this, especially if you're practicing, and especially if you want to have a healthy mindset, right? It starts out with faith. So you have your faith, make sure you do that. Family, keep me in touch, with your family. You might not have a spouse yet, but you might not have dependents, but you might have mom, dad, brothers, sisters. Fun, make sure you have some fun in there. Your field, right? So this is going to be your career and your personal development, right? How many of you are reading, well, you're in college, so because you're reading, but reading a book for your own that's not related to class? Okay. Anybody want to share a book that you're reading that's not for class? And it can be a pleasure book, but I just want to hear it. It's called Do? Oh, did you read it too? Okay, nice. Okay, what is it about? Oh, Dune. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Anybody reading any personal development books?
Mine's called Booming Bear. I got it on TikTok. It's for like self-growth. Yeah, so pretty much.
Okay. What's it called?
Booming Bear.
Booming Bear?
Yeah.
And it's about
Self-growth, like personal growth and like
personal growth.
mindset and everything. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what this is. And then whatever, your field is, focusing on that. Fitness, right? We all know how important nutrition and exercise fall under that, so maintaining that. And then friends, right? Having healthy relationships. Friends, if it wasn't for my friends, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for community helping me, especially in college, especially navigating life's transition, like having a healthy, view or healthy mindset around all of these things are very helpful. And then finances, of course, managing it well, not overspending. Finances are very important. Even people of faith, the Bible talks about finances a lot. You wouldn't, immediately associated with it, but they probably talk about that, a lot in the Bible even. So finances, all right. But yes, I want you to look at that wheel, because when you're stressed, one of those things might be lacking, right? Because when we have all of them kind of flowing, then we usually feel more at peace. Okay, so a few takeaways. Anybody has a few ways that we can manage stress? I know my time is running. Go ahead, like 10.
No, you have 20.
20? Okay, all right, good. We'll lose some time for Q&A. All right, great. So, what are some ways that we can manage stress? You can just throw them out there to me. Working out, yes, great. Listening to music, love that. What is that? That's why you're here. I love that. What's your name? Leslie, yes. You are unstoppable. Come on, Leslie. I love that. Okay. What about you? Anything? That's why you're here? Yeah. Okay, awesome. But I love that. Listening to music, you do it.
I have one.
Oh.
Because I'm praying, because I'm a Christian too.
Praying, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, let's get a couple more out there. That's fine. It is.
Just doing things you enjoy, whether I would play video games, reading, singing, stuff like that.
Okay, I love that. Right. Find things that give you joy, that bring you joy, right? That can bring you out of that stressful situation. Okay, so here's my thing. All right, so please stop there. All right, so one thing I say, I already talked about mindset. So I would say, one of the first things that you can do when you're just like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I'm thinking about that because I'm like, I know there are plenty of days when I feel like that, that I can't take it anymore. But I would say resetting your mind. And I was talking about affirmations, scriptures, or whatever will help you to get in a healthy mindset, right? So if it's music, making sure that it's music that will help you to get out of the stressful situation that you're in. And if it's, like you say, prayer, just something that will help your mind. Affirmations, right? You ladies are talking about affirmations. I am confident. I am enough. I'm smart. I am capable of passing this test. I'm capable of getting an A in this class, right? So I would say that's the first step, because it all starts in your mind. If you're telling yourself, right, negative right? Some people might treat others better than they, or talk to others better than they speak to themselves. I want you to make sure that you're talking to yourself the best, the most positively, like, than anybody else. All right? So it starts in your mind.
Next.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So journaling and writing things down. Right? So problems. Write this down too. Problems are always larger in our head than they are on paper. Problems are always larger in our head than they are on paper, right? So, and that doesn't really have to be paper. It could be, digitally, but write it down. I'm encouraging you, write it down. Just make a list. Like some of us go by to-do lists, and but sometimes they might get away from us, right? Because we might be distracted or want to go on social media. Write it down. I would say, when you know, this is our first day time, you want to take a nap, you can take a nap, but when you wake up, you can go out and party, but when you come back, and you go to sleep and you wake up, write it down. So make sure how many of you already keep a journal? All right, only a few, but that's okay, because after this, I want everybody to have a journal, okay? Because I want you to write down your thoughts, and this will just help you with stress management, with even time management, right? Writing down what went on today, what did I do today? How did I spend my time? How much time did I spend on social media? How much time did I spend eating? How much time did I spend exercising, right? So I want you to journal. I definitely encourage journaling for that stress management, because you'll be able to see, what am I thinking about? What am I telling myself, right? And look up journal prompts. Nowadays you love everything online. And, I love YouTube University. YouTube University just, of course, people say Google it, but I love to see other people. How do they journal? How, what prompts do they use? How do they manage stress, right? So I use that for okay, getting around friends. Positive people that keep you encouraged, right? So how many of you have a friend in this room? Okay, all right. So we're already going here, right? So I love to have friends that will encourage me, friends that will help me. I call it positive peer pressure, right? We can have negative peer pressure, people that always want you to cut class, or let's just have burgers all night. I don't know, whatever it is. Let's spend our parents' money, blah blah blah. But have friends that have positive peer pressure. You are the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? I know you might have heard that before, but if you haven't, write it down. You are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with the most, right? So whoever is, think about who's the last 10 people that you called. Who's the last 10 people that you texted with? Are they encouraging you to study? Are they encouraging you that you will be able to graduate, that you will be able to get a job after college, that you will be able to remain humble when you're successful, right? So make sure that you have healthy group of friends and getting around them too. If you're stressed, be honest. Be honest with your friends. Tell them, listen, I need an ear, So, all right, and I want you to repeat after me, right? Because this is sometimes hard, very hard thing for people to say. You might know what it is. Does anybody know what I'm about to say that is very tough? It's a tough thing to tell people. It is on the board. It is on the board. What is it?
Set boundaries.
Yeah, set boundaries. What is it hard to tell people?
No.
No, exactly. So say it with me. No.
No.
All right. No is a full sentence, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I mean? No is a full sentence. So sometimes, a lot of times we become stressed because we take on too much, right? How many of us have ever experienced that? We have a million things to do, and then our mom calls, and she's like, "Oh, can you come and watch your little brother, or can you come back and and because you're close to home here, right? So or something. But yeah, so they you might have family to, but you can tell her no, or you can say, okay, mom, here's the thing, I have a lot of studying to do today, but that's why I'm going to give you, when you write things down, you can also see it. You can take a screenshot or take a picture. Look at all the things I wrote down today that I have to do. I wish I could help you, but can I help you tomorrow? Just learn how to say no, learn how to set boundaries. And sometimes boundaries isn't saying no alone. Sometimes boundaries is just sharing how you feel, letting people know, hey, when you talk to me like this, it makes me feel discouraged. Or When growing up, I still have trauma around, helping people out. So sometimes I people please, right? Who has ever heard of that phrase, people pleasing? Yep. I know. Some of you look like you're guilty of doing it. That's okay, because I'm guilty myself, right? Pleasing people at the expense of self. One thing my mom always says is self-preservation. But, how many of you heard of the phrase, when you're, on the airplane, you have to put your own mask on first before you put on the other person's mask. Why? Because if you don't put on your mask first, you're not going to be able to help them because you won't be healthy enough to, right? So make sure you put on your mask first before you help somebody else, because you have to be healthy enough. You have to have the healthy mindset. You have to be strong enough to be able to give back, to be able to help them out, right? So much more I can say around that, but I do hope to come back because, I have limited time today, but, so this is Ashley. I don't know how many of you know Ashley Miller? Yeah, okay, yeah, too. But she's the one, I met her while I was at the Steve Harvey Talk Show. I said that before, that I used to work at the Steve Harvey Talk Show, so she came and visited me, and so I had to give her a shout out. Okay, so now let's talk about time management before we open it up for Q&A. So I have a quick, give me that, a quick sheet video. Okay, all right, so, actually, so everybody gets both sheets. Sorry, oh no, it's on there, it's two sides. So I just take it back down. Okay, so while you're getting those, I'm just going to talk about just time management real quick, because once you manage your mindset, once you manage your stress, actually time management is a great way to manage your stress, right? If you write things down, if you think about your priorities, then that is a great way to manage your stress. Discipline is freedom. Just know that, right? Sometimes you might think, oh, well, I am being constricted if I set a schedule, or, oh, I can't have fun, I can't eat chocolate, blah, 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 blah. But really, when you set these boundaries and when you set up these disciplines, you give yourself the freedom to really be able to live healthier, or, have a healthier mindset, or, to really be able to do the things that you want to do, to live longer, when it comes to health, right? All right, so choose the method that works for you. Remember, I said your personality is different from the person to the left of you and the person to the right of you. So you have to choose what works for you. For me, I like to have paper. So this is my planner. I wanted to bring it physically to show you all that I use the tools that I'm saying. So I like to have physical paper, and I also, of course, use my calendar. They say if something isn't written down, like when you have a to-do list, they always say to put it on a calendar as well, because when it has a date on it, then you really know that you have to do it, right? So I would say set up your calendar, or after you write that to-do list, remember I said write everything down, put it on a calendar as much as possible, as much as you can get it on. And you can have a physical calendar like this. I love the Happy Planner. She hasn't sponsored us, but I just love this. Woman-owned business, so I love the Happy Planner. But I also, like I said, I do it online too. I have my reminders on my phone to make sure it comes up. I tell Siri all the time when I'm thinking of something and I know I need it, hey Siri, make sure I get Clorox wipes. I don't know, but that's how I, also another method that I just tell Siri to tell me at 2 o'clock, make sure that I drink water, make sure that I call my mom, just so that's a good way too. And if you have an Android, that's okay. You can just tell, I'm sure they have Alexa, right, or something like that. You can get the app that helps you do that. Okay. Keep your appointments, okay, yep. So I just talked about virtually or on paper. Prepare for the next day the night before. This is a big one. So your day really starts the evening before. So I want you to make sure that if you have, not even, I would just say on a daily basis, if you can, this is a tip, right? And like I said, match, what fits your personality type. But usually when you plan your evening, when you plan your next day the night before, it helps. Because you wake up knowing everything that you need to accomplish for the next day. Keep track of your time through apps like Toggle, or like I said, in a notebook or journal, writing everything down. But yeah, Toggle is very interesting. It's very simple, like a way that you can start with your time is to keep track of your time for a week, they suggest, but even if you did it for a couple of days, okay, what did I do it to? Okay, just every hour kind of tracking it. But Toggle is an app, so if you're more digitally inclined, then you can use that app to track your time and just see where your time actually is going, right? So people like to log their time to see actually where it's going. All right, so now I want you to look at the worksheets that you have in your hand. Where's the rest of them?
I give out all of mine.
Oh, okay.
After
Oh, right here. Yeah, it's right here. All right, awesome. So this is a good way to see what your priorities are. What is a word that kills dreams? It starts with a P. And usually we, might go on social media when we're trying to.
Fascinating?
Exactly. So a way that we can prevent ourselves from procrastinating is thinking about this matrix. So even, you don't have to do it now, I would rather us do the activity on the back, but I want you to look at this, and this matrix will just help you to see what you can prioritize, right? So things that are urgent might not be important, right? So it's urgent that, let's say I ran out of toothpaste, right? It's urgent that, actually that's kind of still got my goal urgent important, but something that's urgent but not important. Actually, it's not that important that I get toothpaste, especially if I have a little bit left. Let's say I got a little bit left to last me a couple days, right? But so I would put that in this quadrant. Now something that's urgent and important, like let's say it's the last day before finals, right? And you have a big assignment for a specific class. You can put that here in the urgent, it's due tomorrow, and it's important, right? So think about that. Then non-urgent, I need, I don't know, snacks from my dorm room, right? It's not really urgent, and it might not be important, but it could be important to you. But yeah, you can put something like that there, and non-urgent, but important. That also can be something like, I don't know, I need to get toilet tissue or something like that. But you can think about these quadrants, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now with this one, I don't think we have a lot of time left, so I'm not gonna have you fill it out. But usually, and I would make this a little bit bigger, but this is just a model to show you how you can do your schedule. This helped me in college. This is really honestly what I think got me out of Harvard, because I put in all of my classes, right? Made sure like you can just see Monday, okay, this is my class, this is my class. Put in all my classes. Then I worked around my classes, 2 hours of study time or an hour of study time over each class. Then I put in time for friends, time for lunch. So I would say just being able to see it all mapped out like this is very helpful for you to manage your time. All right. So we've come, unfortunately, to the end of the road. But you are unstoppable. Yes. All right. So does anybody have any questions for me? And of course, we do have evaluations that I would love for you to fill out while we're asking these questions. There'll be a sheet like this, and I'd love for you to fill it out so that I can do more time workshops like this. Oh yes.
I have a question about sticking to your goals. Like I have a hard time being consistent with my goals. So you know anything that can help you?
Yes, thank you very much for saying that. There has been a study, right, that the way that people keep their goals. So there was a study of like, I don't know how many, like maybe college graduates, right? Let's say there was 1,000, and they tracked them like 10 years after, they were setting goals. So the people that set goals and wrote them down, they were about 50% of them like kept their goals, right? Then the people that wrote them down and also looked at them on a weekly basis, those were the people, like 75% of them achieved their goals. But what they said was 90% of the people that wrote their goals down, looked at them on a weekly basis, and had accountability partners to help them achieve their goal, that's how many people got them to their goals. So what I would say is make sure that you write it down, make sure that you look at it at least weekly, right, if not daily, and then make sure you have an accountability partner. So get a specific person that is going to hold you accountable to withholding these goals. Oops. No, it's okay, it's okay. But that was a very good question because I wanted to talk about that, but we don't really have time, so thank you. Yes, of course. Anybody else?
Mia's going to be around a few minutes after this.
Yes.
And so if you have any questions that you want to ask her individually, you're more than welcome to. But just to close this out, I'm going to, Cassandra and I have different color little cards. When we come by you, just pick one color card that you want for yourself.
Using the Sharpie you provided or your favorite color pen on the table if you have one with you, take a few moments to write an affirmation. It could be as simple as a few words, powerful words, or a statement of strength, hope, or peace. Affirmations serve as reminders of our strength, resilience, and inner worth. They reflect on the truths of who we are, even if the world feels uncertain. As you write, consider these guiding questions. What do I need to hear today? What is something that I learned from Mia's words and that I need to remember? What would I say to a friend who's feeling low? What is one thing I love about myself or that I'm proud of? How do I want to feel when I read this affirmation tomorrow, next week, or next month?
Allow your affirmation to come from a place of truth, from the part of you that knows you are worthy, capable, and enough. Maybe it's a simple statement like, I am strong, or I trust myself to make the right choices. Perhaps it's an affirmation of hope. I am open to the possibilities ahead of me. Or it could be a reminder of your resilience. I have faced challenges before and I will overcome them again. Whatever words you choose, remember, these are your words. This is a gift to yourself. Each time you read your affirmation, let it be a moment to pause. And remember your strength, your courage, and your unique journey. Once you've written your affirmation, keep it somewhere visible, on your mirror, in your notebook, on your phone, so that you can return to it whenever you need a reminder of who you are and all that you are capable of. You are deserving of kindness, especially the kindness you offer to yourself. So take this moment to write an affirmation that fills you with strength, peace, or hope. Let these words remind you of your beauty, both inside and out, and carry them with you as you continue forward.
Thank you so much, Mia, for all the wisdom and insight that you shared with us today. I think we can all agree that what you shared has left us with much time to reflect. Before we continue, I'd like to invite everyone to pause for a moment. And again, we're reflecting on the time we're having right now about your affirmations and everything that you've learned. Thank you so much, Mia, for providing us with everything. That's crazy, that's insane. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
All right, friends, so that concludes the Pop Your Stress event. Please take your goodie bags. There are donuts in the back. There is pizza in the back. You're free to take all of that. Also, just a heads up. So, Stronger Together is the team or the area in campus ministry that does spiritual but not religious type of activities like you saw today with the meditation and the affirmation cards. If you are interested in joining that team,